Hey, I don't know why that played on loop, but it magically did. So, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for stopping by. It's not our usual day. I know we've been trying to stick to a schedule on Wednesday, but we've had some serious shit go on that Mark and I are trying to get to the bottom of it. So, right off the bat, if you host with us and you have received the email letting everybody know what's going on, or you're part of the Discord server and you're still with us, and you still believe in us, thank you. We appreciate you guys. We're doing the best we can. It's a weird situation. I mean, our bills are paid. We're on the up and up. We've jumped through these flaming hoops of death from the power company time and time again, and they still like to go big fu. Um, so we're doing the best we can to get to the bottom of it. We got some things kind of lined up. It's just timing is horrible. So we do appreciate you guys um, being understanding and working with us. So thank you.
You want to go in a little bit more detail of that, or no?
We can if you want to.
Let me just. Yeah, I think we should, at least so people can get it like an understanding of what's going on.
Sure.
And it's in depth. If you're not in the Discord channel, this was posted there as well. Dun, 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 Man, it's small. So update with the mine. John just kind of went into it a little bit detail. We sent an email out to our clients basically saying, in an effort to be transparent and open to all of our host clients, over this past weekend, which was last weekend, we lost a leg of power through what appears to be blowing another transformer. And if you guys have watched the channel, we have some YouTube shorts out there, things like that. You've seen us there, cans on fire, basically smoke pouring out some transformers, things like that.
Which shouldn't happen.
Yeah, it should not happen. You're right. Right now, we're waiting for the power company to respond to our power outage request. However, they have asked us to power the building down in its entirety until they fix. A fix can be presented, and we have no ETA on that yet. There's a brief update on that. They are currently out there right now looking at the cans, but we still don't have like an entire idea as to how they're going to fix it or what they're going to fix it. They have disconnected the power completely from the mine at this point. So essentially, it's just we have no power whatsoever over there. As mentioned in our last live stream, which we talked about again last week on Wednesday, our 5 megawatt facility has been delayed due to the state of Virginia requiring an environmental study, which was dropped on us last minute. Right now, we have no ETA on when this will be complete, but our expectation is July.
So I do have a bit of an update.
Nice.
I'll pause you there. I was there this week. I swung by, take pictures and measurements for the bus bar power system, and the former owner of the building happened to be there because the building is changing hands. The reason the environmental study came back and we're going into it is because they found diesel leaking into the grounds on the property. The solution for this is they're going to excavate the contaminated soil, bring in new soil, and be done with it. That's all we are waiting for. It's a 36-acre property. It's big farmland. It won't be hard for them to do. We're just logistic wise, that's what they're planning on doing. Some of the old equipment that was in the building is being removed still, and they're going to be fixing that contaminated soil. But that's all that's holding us up. So environmental has passed, except for that one small section that needs to be fixed, and we're good to go.
Awesome news to me. No, just kidding. Literally talk every day about this stuff. Okay. So our 35 megawatt facility, this property is still in demo mode, literally destroying buildings and minor structures that are on the property. And expectations of that is still roughly about 12 months. So that facility is our game changer facility, and I'll go into that a little bit later here. But the email continues. We find ourselves in a tough position right now with the power outage and the power company not really being on our side to literally keep the lights on, despite jumping through all of their hoops. Putting more funds into this facility as we're about to leave soon does not make sense for Coastal Crypto and leaves us with limited options. So essentially, we gave some options. John has been amazing in getting just cooperation in the area with other business owners and things like that. So the options that we were able to come up with, if the power company comes back and states a substantial amount to power us back up sooner than later, one, we can keep machines off rent free until we move to our 5 megawatt facility. So essentially, we're just a storage company for those that don't want to power on. Or we do have another building that the owner has been kind enough. This is John's doing work. He found this, I don't know, door knocking or whatever you did. Either way, we found an owner. We've been kind in the area. It's been kind enough to let us to give us a temporary solution. However, he's in a co-op, so it's a different price point. For those that do want to opt in, keep your machines running. The kilowatt rate hour would be 12 cents, which is flat fee. So essentially, you're paying whatever we're paying for power until we take possession of the 5 megawatt facility, and then we come back to our normal rate of 9 cents a kilowatt hour. As a reminder, once our 35 megawatt development is up and running, this is where we will see a drop in kilowatt hour pricing, which we will open up to all of our host providers that went through all these hurdles with us prior to accepting new clients. And when we say that, we'll see a drop in kilowatts per hour, like this is going to be us moving to a stage where we compete with the big guys. You don't just turn on 35 megawatts of power and not have some type of power purchase agreement in place and things like that. And that's actually the whole point of our 5 megawatt facility, is that actually kicks in our power agreement with local municipalities in the area. And it'll actually help us reduce rates as time goes on and we get closer to that 12-month period. For those of you who have questions, or if these options do not fit your business plan with mining, please reach out to us so we can work with you to figure out your next steps. For those of you who newly joined us, we asked you to reach out regardless, as our 5 megawatt facility was the reason we felt comfortable taking you on as a client. And now we need to adjust due to the situation. So we've already reached out to quite a few of you with the email, or you have reached out to us discussing. A lot of you Deegans want to move on and keep mining at 12 cents a kilowatt hour, which not a problem. Me and John are on that. And then, we have had a client that has left us. We just got the notification today. So we're being open, transparent, honest, everything that's going on. Some people don't want to deal with it, and that's okay. That's fine. But for those that are here, whether you want to store your machine or you want to enjoy the journey with us and going to the new co-op location for the next couple months until we move into the 5 megawatt facility, we appreciate it. Like John was saying earlier, and no one said this was going to be easy for building a mine or just running a company in general. And if anybody has experienced anything within the market as of recently, and you're crypto related, you should know basically about the same experience that we're going through. No industry is hated right now more than crypto. And to give you a little bit of insight of that, so in previous streams we talked about working on a surety bond. And the surety bond essentially secures our deposit for the 35 megawatt facility. And so we've been working on that. Initially, the power company was like, hey, if you're going to be turning on, anything at your 35 megawatt facility, we need a $500,000 deposit for the substation that's there and everything like that. And me and John were flabbergasted for the most part. That's probably putting it lightly, as to like the requirement, why, like there was no really rhyme reason why things like that. They're like, well, you have access to more power through a direct substation, so you're on the hook for that. We need to protect our shareholders, is basically what was told to us by the power company. Going back and forth a couple months, power company finally reduced the deposit to $250,000. It was actually like 282 or something, like $282,000. So like, okay, so we started looking into the surety bond. Typically a surety bond, this is something like an electrician would get if they need temporary power somewhere, or like if you're a company that wants to get licensed and bonded, same thing. These are imposed, or you buy a bond. Usually, you pay a couple grand and you get a few, $20,000-$30,000 worth of coverage, which is a normal deposit for a mine at our size. $15,000 as an electric company, that they would charge that normally as a security deposit for someone that has bad credit or something like that, or a deposit needed to run energy services. So we're expecting that it may be like for a bond for the size that we need would be roughly about, maybe 20 grand or a couple $1,000, depending on just how they set it up. And the bond company finally came back and they approved us. Yay! Right? They approved us. However, they wanted $26,000 to initiate a $282,000 bond, and they want half of the bond coverage to be secured by us by a collateral, which basically is $120,000, locked into a surety bond approved bank, which that happens to be a normal institution. So right now we're kind of going through trying to figure out what banks they approved or are approved for them to hold this surety bond, because we've literally been unbanked by like four of the large national banks. The only one that we haven't tried yet, and I do not want to go towards is JPM. Like I just have no. I just I don't want to use their bank. As sketchy as that, like there's just a lot of history with JP Morgan Chase that is just not. I'm not on the same level ethic wise that it makes me feel uncomfortable wanting to deal with them. So we, being transparent with the bond company, we're like, hey, we can't do business with PNC, B of A. There was another one that I named too. Wells Fargo. Like we've all been unbanked by all three of them. So we got to figure out a different bank that you guys are approved through. And hopefully we don't have to like go towards Chase. Unfortunately, it says it's a struggle. This is not an easy venture. In the end, it's going to be all worth it, but we're not here to show the glamour of everything and tell you guys about, hey, we're doing this, we're doing that, because a lot of our streams are about, hey, we're growing. We've expanded to this. We got a power company. We're you got this 25,000 square foot building. We're making things. Machines are coming in, and it's not. So it's just not it's not all roses. And we're gonna be the first to tell you guys what it is, what's going on. And you guys, and if anybody's been following us at all, you've seen there's again video footage. We've blown these transformers before. We don't know why. There's a disconnect somewhere. We're running. Nothing is going off inside the actual shop. It's all externally. We don't know why. Yep.
Yeah, I spoke with one of the engineers today that came out to swap out the transformers and the cans on the pole. And I was explaining him the situation. It's a 24,000 square foot building. Very little power runs through the building except for where we want it to go. We've gone through, double checked, triple checked everything that's been cut and ripped out, thinking that maybe there's a short, there's a backfeed, there's something going on, because we're blowing the same transformer roughly every time. So maybe there's a backfeed. Maybe one transformer is feeding another transformer because our voltage is off. We're not tripping anything inside. Our switch gears are not tripping. Our PDUs are not tripping out. The individual breakers that the miners are on. So to break it down, each miner has its own breaker. Feeds into a PDU. Each PDU has its own breaker, and then there's a breaker before you get to the switchgear, which switchgear itself is another breaker. So we have 4 or 5 breakers along the way, creating tons of resistance, but it's all in the name of safety. And none of those safety setups are tripping or faulting out or having any issue at all. What's having the issue is the pole. So between here and the pole, something's going on. There's old wires that no one's picked up on. There's some kind of backfeed issue. Something is going on in that disconnect. And the engineer that was there today said the same thing, more or less. This doesn't make sense. I see your switchgear. What's on the pole matches what's in the switchgear. And we were told by the power company we're pulling 180% through the transformers. That should have immediately triggered our switchgear to fault and trip out, but it never did.
Yeah.
Never did. We reduced power at their request. We had a high windstorm and a transformer blew. We reduced power and a transformer blew. We didn't increase power, we reduced power. That doesn't make any sense, in any universe. So we're fighting the good fight because we've gone through so many transformers. That's another bill that they want to stick us with. Usually 1 or 2 they'll cover. Hey, they're old, we'll swap them out, no problem. But we're going on like 3 and 4 here, so they're sticking us with a bill
Right.
that we're trying to avoid because there's something unforeseen happening that is beyond us and beyond what they're seeing as a power company that we need to figure out, because just throwing a bill at us and swapping the cans doesn't prevent this problem from happening again and again and again. So that's my frustration, and I'm not easily upset or don't nothing really gets underneath my skin, and this is starting to weigh on me because it's frustrating because I don't have answers, and I like to have answers.
Yeah. So that's the update on the mine. But we keep moving. So regardless of whatever hurdles put in front of us, we find a way to continue the positive movement. We have our co-op facility that we will be powering people on current hosts. We are not going to be accepting any new hosts from what we've already took on until we are actually in the 5 megawatt facility, or we're gearing up to get into it. So we again put hosting on hold for like the 800th time at this point. I feel like, and once we can power up people, and we're going to tell people at this point now, hey, August is the next power update. So and essentially that's when we're going to pull in, and we'll have 5 megawatts available to us, and all of our power concerns will go away for a couple months.
Sweet.
I know as soon as we power on the 5 megawatt facility, that will get escalated extremely fast, and then we'll be capped out immediately. And it's happened time and time again. Hey, we got more power. Boom. The floodgates opened.
Yeah. So, but to transition to something a little bit lighter, Yesterday was May the 4th be with you. Today's Cinco de Mayo. We're going to continue with the discount that Mark rolled out yesterday on Twitter for the entire site. So it's not just.
Oops.
Nope.
I didn't roll that. So we're giving a 4% discount. That's our first time every time sale. Essentially, just hit us up, DM. News to John. It didn't go out yesterday. For today, giving a 4% discount on anything that's on the site. So essentially, whatever the price shows on there, we can give a 4% discount, add taxes and shipping.
Yep, and always DM us, guys. Hit us up directly to avoid those credit card fees. They're killing us. I know they're killing you. We turn over some of them to you guys just because that's a lot of businesses do that. But there's still a lot that we have to fight with our credit card processor, which is PayPal. PayPal is the only one who hasn't turned us away, but they hold all of our funds hostage every other month. So, to avoid that, to speed up your transaction times, if you can do crypto, let's do crypto. Makes things go faster, makes the world go round. In my opinion, it happens so much faster when we do crypto transactions because it's basically we just become escrow, and it goes from us to our supplier, and then you guys get the equipment. Instead of banks and crypto and back and forth and transactions, and we lose money, and you have to pay fees, and it's a mess. Crypto makes things so much easier. So,
yeah. And we're in the crypto scene. Like, you guys are buying things to mine crypto from us. We are a crypto company. Everybody should be using crypto. Like, I know that we on our end, we need more integration on our site to just have a crypto channel open up for you guys when you go to buy something on the website. But right now we're doing peer-to-peer. It works. We confirm the transaction manually for you guys, and we have not missed anything, a sale or anything like that along those lines when somebody's sending crypto.
Yep. So let's catch up on some of these now that we've got the first time every time news 4%. What's the code, Mark?
Oh, I don't know. Just hit us up, man. It's just, make I don't know. Make a code. I didn't do any.
Sith.
Yeah, Sith. Okay. 4%. If you use Sith on the website, how do you? So, yeah, Sith on the website, and you'll get 4% off. Okay.
Yep.
There you
go. I'll put that in a second. So don't try right this minute. Trying to catch up with some of these comments.
Y'all
John,
probably be out the building before by the time they fix it. Probably not, but running anything there, yeah, probably. Well, it's funny. So timing. So the co-op, John, hopefully is going to start working on that this weekend. We signed a lease with the guy already. So at this point, it's just a matter of starting to turn the machines on over there. We have to run some wire. And I'm trying to figure out a way to get out there as well so we can do this as a team and just get everything over. But speaking of supporting you guys, does the FK33 you guys offer need fans? So if you're going to run it in a server case, no. If you're only running like one or two of them, like on a regular board or a riserless board, no. If you're running a group of 8 of them and they're all clustered together, yeah, you need some type of additional cooling solution. Even if you just put like a shop fan right above them and blow the heat off of the heat sinks. But yeah, just there are some modification that you can do to add fans, but as of right now, if you're just doing like a server case setup or just a riserless setup, like a BTC 85 motherboard or an ETH 85 motherboard, you won't need fans. So let me go through some other comments. John had to head out real quick. Something was going on. And you're probably not wrong. I know that they have upgraded the lines from the transformers to us because I think maybe like a month after being in the building, we basically fried the line that was going from the transformers to the building, which was crazy because at that time we weren't even really pulling anything power wise, really. I think we had maybe like 2 clients up and running at the time when that happened. It was pretty crazy. Red Panda. We don't. RPM's code only gives you 2% off, guys, if you want to use it. But definitely use your favorite creators promo code if you guys are going to be shopping. Okay, does offer need a fan? So we just answer that. So it does not if you're just running. If it's just like one that you bought, we don't need it. And in addition to, like, we have one that got bent in shipping. Like the actual frame thing got bent. We owe that guy a shipping label because that's not the type of product we want our customers to have. So if you have issues with it, reach out to us, and that'll also bring me to the M2 at some point. But if you have issues on anything, just bring it to us, DM or something along those lines, and we can either help you troubleshoot or in the case where somebody got a bent, it was just like the frame, the holding of the thing. We would rather you get one that you can feel proud to own and have versus something bent. So we owe that guy a shipping label.
Sorry.
No problem. You asked the same question like 4 times, dude. So no fan. Like, you do not need a fan unless you want to add a fan. But at that point, you're just adding more wattage to your thing. Don't add a fan. Yeah, we're getting there. I know you bought a few of them, so I know that you're having your fun with it. Yeah, John has some. We'll get there in just a second because there is some updated news on the M2 as well. So let's see. Yeah, so E9s are in transit. We have a couple different batches that are going on. It's a long story short. Bitmain has been Bitmain in their own fashion. So they said that this batch, April's batch of E9s, was supposed to be done mid-April. Mid-April came and went. No word from Bitmain. So we start asking our suppliers, like, yo, what's going on? Like, we have these orders, so on and so forth. And come to find out, Bitmain, they weren't ready, unfortunately. So then we got news that they were almost ready, but they don't have like a specific time. And then the Chinese holiday, Labor Day or International Labor Day happened. And if you guys are aware or unaware, typically when China has a holiday, it is not just one day. It is literally like a weekend plus a couple extra days. So this one was, I think, 4 days where basically everything shut down. Like nobody works, nobody, like Hong Kong, all the warehouses shut down, things like that. So everybody else in the world is working except for China, and they have holidays left and right too. So it's not just like a one-off, once every month or a year, something like that. So the holiday passed, and ended this past Monday, I want to say. And people started getting back into the warehouse, and so things started to move a little bit more. And then all of a sudden, we got notification that some of the E9s are actually in transit. And so we have some in the air right now. We have some in customs. And then we also have a couple batches waiting to lift off. So they are on their way. As soon as we get them, John doesn't hold them for very long, maybe a day or two at most, just because of logistics on our end. And then at that point, we generate tracking and ship them out to you if they're going directly to you. If they're staying at the mine, we let you know and then go and get and we let you know. And if we're ready to plug them in, we plug them in. In this case, we're not ready to plug them in yet. but yeah, so they're on their way. That's about as much of a update I can give on the E9s. So awesome. Let's see what else we have. Are you sure it's coffee? Might be something else. My malt miner comes in today. I'm excited to play with it. I wish I knew what that was like. I'm just kidding.
Excuse me.
Let's see what else we got.
Power supply for the M2.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Do you recommend a 10 or 6-pin power supply? 10, 6-pin. So I think what would probably be best would be like an APW7. If you can find a Bitmain APW7, that would probably be like the most streamlined for a power supply. That you can run on 120 and 240 easily. But what I would actually recommend is doing a server power supply, getting like an HP 1200 or something along those lines. Now, the 1200 on the HP server power supplies, you can only get that if you run 240. Otherwise, it's 900. So you might need a couple of them. And then I would be running non-Amazon PCIe cables. So, whether that be Veteran Miner, Chain Critical, just something that can that can hold heat, basically. So
I tried on ours, like Mark said, APW7 is what we're running now because it's actually located at my house, and I only have a 120 outlet available. But we've also tried the Alpha Miner 2000 watt PSU. The thing screams, it's loud and annoying, but it definitely puts the power up, but that's only 240. So depending on what size you want, APW7 is 1800 watts. Alpha Miner is 2000. So right in that range.
Yeah.
But supposedly these machines are supposed to be auto tuning depending on what you plug into it. We're working on it.
Yeah. So yeah, so we're still playing with it. I know that there's been some quality issues with it. Some people have reported that maybe a chip is missing or something along those lines, or like they're having a bad board. In most cases, what we've noticed is with the bad board situation is there's not enough power going in the machine. So that needs to be addressed first. Sometimes the bracket where the machines are like mounted to, like something's loose. So you need to make sure all your connections are there, connected. Everything is sturdy, good. All of the ribbon cables are connected in. Nothing has really moved within the shipping tray. Even though these were packed pretty good, still just need to make sure that everything is all connected correctly, right? And sturdy. And then from there, I start to troubleshoot beyond that, just to make sure. I know that we've had a couple machines, ours included, where a heat sink had fallen off and we had to replace that. So that is an easy fix. And if you guys end up having that, just let us know. So these are brand new machines. They're barely burned in before they left the factory. We've been on them on trying to get the batch in. And just to give an update as to like batches itself. So we essentially bought the entire batch for April, and you guys essentially bought that from us. So we took all of it, surprisingly. I just bought the last 2 for the April batch also just the other day, so we could fulfill a couple last orders, and now they're working on May's batch. Word has gotten out. We put our request in for a different Bitstream just because how Caspa has moved, is moving at an evolution that's extremely fast. So we asked for a different Bitstream. Those of you that have been tuning in, you know what Bitstream that is. I put some information in our Discord. You can go look at it. I'm not going to go into too much detail of it right now, but word is out on that. They know where their hash rate is kind of going to be at. They have estimated figures, and so they have turned around and increased the price of the machine. So essentially, we have now shown an increase of the price of the machine, reflecting their increase on our website. I still honestly think if those that know what's coming with this machine, the M2, the price that we have is still an extremely good deal based on the profitability that you're going to see initially when you get it. And those that you have bought when we first found this machine, congratulations, because there's some things that are coming that is, I mean, those that are in our Discord know, like that this machine is going to be it's going to have some miles that you can put on it. It's going to be good.
Yeah, I'm going to go into detail here in a second. What I found with the machine, and, you know, how to check your build date, how to, you know, find your bit streams and everything else. So I'll go into that in a second. But real quick, I don't think I didn't even mention this to Mark. That just kind of happened spur of the moment type of situation. Excuse me. We shipped out, how many did we ship out so far? 30, 40, almost 40 of them.
Mm-hmm.
There's at least one or two of them out there that has our sticker on it, our logo. There, it's above my head over here, I think. Okay, that's the typical logo. There's one or two machines out there that have a holographic sticker on it. If you find a holographic sticker on your machine, let us know. Send a picture of it, message Mark and DM. We're going to give away some merch with that sticker. Like a trucker hat or a banner or something to that effect. So there's only one or two of them out there. If you are one of the lucky ones that got it with our holographic sticker and not the typical white one, reach out to us. So I thought that'd be fun to do. I just kind of threw it in there because I unboxed all these. I inspected them because we had one with a bad heat sink. I wanted to make sure we didn't have any others with bad heat sinks. I mean, the packaging is nice, but it's rigid packaging. It doesn't allow a lot of flex inside. So it gets dropped hard enough or banged around. Stuff happens. So I personally opened up all the boxes, put decals on all the machines, and inspected all of them and shipped them back out. We didn't power them on, but I made sure that the heat sinks were in place. But all right, let me share my screen here. You know, I got the GUI pulled up on one of the bad M2s that we got. That's actually going to get repaired. But let me share the screen somehow. Okay. All right. So this GUI is super simple. There's really not a whole lot to it. I've been searching and searching and searching for some kind of backdoor. There usually is. It's usually the IP address, hashtag debug, or some kind of / something, right, to get into this backdoor. I haven't been able to find it. If you guys can find it, please let us know. But right here on the update page, you can actually see the build date for it. This particular machine was built April 7th of this year, April 17th of this year. So this is an April batch machine. These machines were built for Coastal Crypto. Long and short of it. So if you ever wanted to check your build date, there it is, so you guys can find out. Again, it's a super simple GUI. You know, you have your pool set up. Got your coin list. You know, your Digibit, Caspa, Cadena, and then you copy paste them down here, hit submit, and then you enter your pool information. Do not use pool 2 and 3. It for some reason it just doesn't like it. Just use pool 1 for Caspa. It doesn't like TCP. It likes SSL. So find a pool that supports SSL stratum addresses. Seems to work the best that we've kind of discovered. But super simple. But you got to make sure you have Caspa selected underneath your coin before you move forward with entering your pool information. So Caspa, submit, pool information, submit again, and you should be off to the races. This machine actually has a bad board. It hashes, but for some reason we're not getting any information on it. So on the pool side, we're seeing 6.5, 7 gigahash, but for some reason here it's not showing up. So it's a communication issue on this particular board. But you can see there's no errors up here at the top. If there's a pool error, it will display right underneath the coin you have selected. So we have CASPA selected 2023, today's date, and right underneath it will say pool error or ERC or whatever it'll say. It'll tell you right at the top that there's a pool error and you need to fix your stratum address typically. Setting wise, again, I cannot find the back door. Typically it's in this section. Don't know where it is. Yeah, I mean, Mark really hasn't had a chance to play with the GUI too much. I've been kind of hogging it this whole time. I do want to point out, where is that site? Let me see here.
Do we have a spare ribbon that we could use? Maybe it's a bad ribbon.
It could be a bad ribbon, yes, but they're really short, and they're not like your L3 ribbons. They're an odd number. I have to recount them.
Are they like the A6 ribbons?
Possibly. I don't remember off the top of my head, and it's in the other room, and I'm not counting right this second.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I have pulled up here is file.ex. It's a file explorer. This is how I've been kind of going through the SD card on these machines. For your Bitstreams to run properly, for the M2 to run properly at all, it needs to have this SD card in it. I have copied the contents of our SD card. I will share it on our website and in Discord in case you ever mess up yours. I have a backup copy here for anybody. But what we can do is we can actually go into the SD card. So again, this is a copy of the SD card. This is what you see when you first pull it up. You have your miner, some bit files. The bit files are your Bitstream files. These are the actual bit streams. So this is a 7Z010 Bitstream. You get your boot log and your images and so on. If we click on miner, bin, we can see our Cadena files, our digibit, CASPA. When you enter and save the information for your pools in the machine, you don't have to re-enter it every time. You just select your coin and it will automatically populate with whatever pool you had previously select. So after you set up your pools for each one of these coins, you hit submit, it saves it on the SD card for you. So all you got to do is go back, select your coin, and it will automatically populate your pool information. Kind of cool. I thought that was interesting. You didn't have to constantly copy and paste and re-enter stratum addresses. It automatically saves it here for you. Those are not your bit streams. So underneath data, there's your bit streams. Again, you have your JSON files. Again, that's how it is reading your pool information from the saved version of it. And then you have your bit file. Your bit file is the actual bit streams for this machine. If you ever are curious on what your bit stream looks like, what this machine is interpreting, you can use file.ex.com, and all you're doing is grabbing it. Oh, let me go back real quick. So here's your home page. Drag it, drop it. It reads it. And this works for, if you don't have to just use it for this machine, this little free web tool works for a lot of different files. It's pretty cool. If you're ever having issues reading it, or if the file comes up all jumbled, this will decipher it for you. So we can see here that converted the CASPA miner 300 mega hash bit file, a bitstream file. It picks it up as an XE-Link bitstream file. So these are XE-Link FPGA chips on this machine. So it's either the XE-Link 1100 chip or the E800, whatever it may be. But we know they're XE-Link chips now. And then it kind of breaks down some of the information and how it's being tuned. So this is where you would adjust your bitstream. I assume this is where you would adjust your bitstream, or you would alter or add additional bit streams to your miner for different tunes. So we're still working on it. There are some other things that I've found that I think is the reason why we're not getting that 13 gigahash or that 10 gigahash that we were all hoping for. Because we're still fighting it too. We're not getting that full power potential out of these machines.
Yeah,
That's
no,
because
we have to adjust the frequency, and that's where we're trying to learn that right now. Let's just
right,
figure out where we adjust the frequency.
right. So tune 1 and tune 2, I think that's where some of these files are supposed to be, but they are empty. So where we've reached out to the manufacturer, we're trying to figure out what is needed to get to this level, to those higher levels. I did find the GitHub. Mark found the GitHub for Black Miner and Malt Miner. M2 is not listed yet, but at least we're in the right direction. So we found the bit streams. We found where the pool information is saved. We found the boot files. So, and this seems to be where we could copy and paste, say, a bit stream for another coin into this folder, into this data file for additional coins to be added to the machine. So I think we're stepping in the right direction. It's a lot to this machine. It's a very simple GUI, but there's a lot of information to be unpacked just in this SD card alone that is kind of hidden away.
Yeah, and I mean, everybody needs to realize that this is a FPGA. It is not like an ASIC or anything along those lines. If you've ever dealt with a USB miner, it probably would be the closest to that, like the LB1 or literally any of the USB type miners where you're loading something on a computer. Your computer happens to be the control board in this situation, and you have to manually adjust things and mess with it. So as we play with it more, we'll release some content around it so we can give you guys some insight and help adjusting things. And yeah, I mean, there's a lot to it. It's almost like Windows mining with your GPUs, basically. You're adjusting the miner specifically, putting overclocks inside the miner, things like that. It's pretty similar to that.
So we're still learning, and Mark had touched on before. We're reaching out to the manufacturer, trying to get these quality issues taken care of. And when we have more information, we will share it with you guys. So this is a new machine to everybody. I mean, I showed you the date on it. April 17th, 2023. Nobody except for the manufacturer has really played with these machines in depth. Red Panda, I think you looked at one, I believe, but we're trying to take it and break down some of these bit streams and get some more information out there for you guys. So if you have experience coding or writing bit streams or understanding, C++ or Java, Python, let us know. If you don't have an M2, maybe we'll get you a copy of the SD file and you can play with it. Maybe you can decipher something further than I can or we can. I have no experience with coding. I know how to look for things that are hidden. That's about it. But let us know. Well, we're always willing to kind of send stuff out, and we'll figure it out together, right?
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, let's answer a couple last questions with things. I know we didn't go into too much detail on the M2, and we will have other videos out that'll just be separate solely on the M2 as we get more things going. And then those of you that are in Discord, showing what you have going on with your particular machine. As soon as I get more information from the supplier, I will, and the manufacturer, I'll touch base and we'll figure out your particular situation and getting things. So if you think you have a bad board, again, make sure that all your all the connections are valid and good to go. In our scenario, I'm already just on the stream. I'm thinking that maybe we have a bad ribbon. I'll try to swap that out. But yeah, because if we're hashing at a certain particular hash rate, which out of the box, these come at about 7.5 to 8 gigahash for Caspa. So if we're doing that, the machine's hashing, it's just not showing vitals. It's probably a communication thing, which essentially is the ribbon. So, and anybody that's experienced the same thing, like, oh, I don't see a board, but you're getting around 7.5 to 8 gigahash, well, then obviously the board is hashing. It's doing what it's supposed to. If there, again, there's a communication issue. If that's the case, we just swap a ribbon out for you and move and get everything going. John, can you put a link to the Discord in the chat?
Yep.
But yeah, so overall the machine looks clean. It's, it runs as expected. We haven't had really too much time to really play into it other than what John has just showed here on the stream. But as we dive more into it, we'll let you guys know, because essentially getting those higher hash rates is a frequency thing, and that's just you changing the frequency. You would do that on, your C11s, C1100s. I mean, the E300 with the Osprey. You would do that on the Forest Kitten 33. There's ways to change the frequency within the mining protocol, and it's just something we have to unlock and figure that out. So we're experiencing this journey with you guys, but we know that we can get it, and the outlook of this machine is looking very fruitful for those, especially that have purchased it in this first batch. So again, congratulations to everybody that has done that. And when the new batch comes out, we're going to learn even more information in getting these things going. So it's like a whole new world. Cue Disney music here. All right. So question, does the HS3 mine Saya coin? I don't know. That's a good question. We do not entertain Saya coin. I know we have a couple host provider or we're the host provider. We have a couple hosts at mine Saya coin, but I think they also switched over to Star coin. So I think they're more profitable on Star coin versus Saya coin, but I'm not 100%. To me, the handshake, it's just another coin. Like, it's not, I don't know. I have not enough knowledge. I haven't spent enough time to really dive into it to make it a worthwhile project for me to say that this is something we need to mine. Yeah, I want to become a Sidecoin whale. Well, keep at it, man. Just do your thing. Any other questions?
How do you find the IP? I use Advanced IP Scanner. Free download. It finds majority of the crap on your network. You can also pull up your router on your modem and find it that way. If you still can't find it, what you can do is pull your SD card out. I'm share my screen again. Where is it? Okay, so underneath miner and underneath your SD card, etc., you'll find the network file. If you don't have it, you may need it. If not, this is for if you're setting the static IP for your machine. Sometimes it comes back. Sometimes you're able to reset it. Delete this file. Just delete it completely and restart your machine. Put the SD card and restart your machine. You should be able to find your IP then if you can't find it now. So that seems to be the issue, is this network file for your static IP is saved from when it was manufactured. Just delete the file, copy it to your desktop, and then delete it. And you should be able to get back into and find your IP. Hopefully that helps.
So any information that I'm pulling for the HS3, it just does handshake. And isn't handshake, don't they have like a halving or had a halving just recently? Like, I don't know if this would be the best time to actually really look at this miner just yet. Not financial advice. Do whatever you want. We're just a couple guys on the internet.
First time, every time.
Yeah. So yeah, any other questions? We got advanced IP scanners. So it's a 4% discount, and it's use the word Sith on the website, or shoot us a DM, and we'll get you the 4%. If you're paying with PayPal, expect that there is a 5% processing fee. So if you really want to save some money, get some crypto. There you go. Sith. Dun, 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 dun. Any other questions, guys? We covered a decent amount. The biggest thing is just yes, we do accept CASPA. The biggest thing is the mine and our struggles there. So hopefully we'll get that squared away soon. Well, I mean, it's always going to be a constant thing that we're working on, because we're expanding to new locations and buildings and things like that. Have you thought about immersion cooling coastal crypto mining? Yeah, we thought about it. The cost to actually set up an immersion, we're not okay paying that. So if we had a client that came in and they were like solely like, I need to do immersion, things like that, we would charge a CapEx for it. So essentially you'd be buying all the equipment to set up. We would tell you that it's your equipment. So when you want to depart or anything like that, if you don't, you want to do something with it, like sell it down the road, we would be open to having you sell it, something along those lines. But immersion is an expensive endeavor, and that's a long-term play. So if you're doing immersion, you're looking at something like, okay, whatever is going to be going in this tank, I am hodling this throughout my whole ROI, because I feel like it's going to be a long-term thing going forward. And we're partnered up with like DCX and things like that, to where you can get some like the BitPod. I know Octominer has their tank that they're struggling to get out, and there are some other setups out there. Again, they're not cheap, so and then you have to worry about the solution, things like that. It's just it's great for giving longevity to your machine, but I feel like the cycles of these machines are so short that it's not worth doing it, unless you're willing to really swap those out every 4 years easily with the machines. No. Have you been trading? So yeah, we did buy some PP or Pepe.
Mark's mad at me because we should have bought it earlier. It
Yeah.
would have been set, but
So
never too late.
I think right now we bought it early enough, though. We've 3 times at this point, especially with the news today. It looks like trading has opened for crypto.com on their trading exchange, not the actual app, but their trading exchange. So for non-US users, you can play around with it. Binance looks like they announced that they're going to list it. So yeah, Pepe is pumping. Yeah, I told John when I saw it, we like Dogecoin, right? So we are fans of meme coins. So it was very appealing to see it, because you're embracing a meme, utility tokenomics, things like that. Read a little bit. I've only scanned it so far on the white paper and things like that, and I know there's a lot of FUD around its fair launch and things like that, but a couple $100 we're not, don't, you know, we're, again, two guys on the internet. We're just telling you what we did, not, you know, don't do what we do or whatever. Say as I do, not as I do. Whatever that saying is. Do as I say, not as I do. No, don't do that either, because we're not giving you advice. So, but yes, we YOLO'd some token in and basically recouped what John lost the previous week, for the most part. So we're doing okay. I think that's going to be a little bit longer hold term and just kind of see what happens, especially now that it's listed on Binance. And, you know, we're going to keep an eye on the chart and try not to be exit liquidity. So that'll be fun. So we swapped it on the MetaMask app. So it's an ETH token. You can do it on Algorand's platform too. But it's an ETH token. So, you know, similar how you would do something with BNB and all of those rugs, it's the same thing. So you go into, disclaimer, not meme coin advice. Exactly. First time, every time, not the meme coin advice. But yeah, so all I did was put some ETH on the MetaMask wallet, went to exchange, put the contract address in MetaMask for what I wanted to acquire, which was Pepe, and hit swap. MetaMask does a lot of it for you. Otherwise, you can do it on Uniswap. I'm not a huge fan of Uniswap, but MetaMask will find the cheapest exchange and then just swap it for you. Sometimes you get an error, and then like shortly after that, you'll get like the confirmation, hey, this happened. So just when you click it, hold for a second, see what MetaMask does, and then, you know, it should take. So now we have, you know, how much do we even have? We have millions. It's so 168 million. It's just, I think so. We've made a decent chunk, but it is very volatile. So you guys need to just tread with caution. This is shitcoin trading. Like, it's not like, it is what it is. We're just playing the game. Oh, there you go. See, even way too fast. He said KuCoin, which I can see that too. Another thing too, there's like some integration with Caspa on KuCoin, so I would keep an eye on KuCoin, because there's something I foresee Caspa doing some things here soon with some other exchanges that are not complete ripoffs. Okay. I need to get the equipment to a build out. Only putting one rig to start my RX 500, 400, 500 card rig. Dude, you need to get away from those cards, man. I mean, I'm not telling you what to do, but they're not efficient. Get away from them. Did y'all see the story where someone threw in like 200? Dude, there's a guy on Twitter right now. He's constantly posting updates. He put $27 in the day it launched. He has $5 million right now. It's so stupid. Like, and he just he's like, hey, look at it's and 5 million was before today's pump. So I can only imagine whatever it is today. So crazy. And I told John, oh man. So I told John, because I was
let me get my dunce cap. Hold on.
Yeah. I was like, dude, we need to figure out how to swap through to get Pepe. And this was like 2 weeks ago, I think, right? Or a week ago at least. Yeah. I was like, we need to hop on this one. And so then he hits me up and he's like, did you end up figuring out how to do the swap for Pepe? And I was like, I completely spaced. So it's on both of us, honestly. And so then I figured it out, went and did it. And immediately after I did it, it plummeted 40%. We're like, I was like, yeah, well, you know, it's volatile. And then like the next day it was up again. And then now it's up. So
yay.
Yeah.
If we had bought it when we first talked about it, we would have been up like $1.5 million, $2 million.
Mm-hmm.
You win some, you lose some. In our case, you lose a lot.
Yeah. We're just trying to show you what not to do. We got into it too late. But yeah, on that note, we have some actual work to do with the mine and the company. So I think we're going to end it here. If you guys have anything, always feel free to reach out. And as I get more updates from the manufacturer on the M2 and the supplier, we will provide those out to you guys and get things going.
Right on, man. Later, guys.
Later.